Hello, everybody. Today we are here with Rianna Joanne McCulloch, who is from Scotland, but since when she was 16 years old, she went to live in Alicante, in Spain, and she has a lot of experience and practice and studies about yoga, Kundalini yoga, Yin yoga, also massage, Reiki, Tibetan bowls. So she has a lot of things to tell us today. If you are interested, follow us. Well, Rianna, thank you very much for being here.
Hello.
And well, I'm very curious about why you decided, or what was the reason to go to Spain, to live in Spain when you were 16.
Oh, well, I came over to Spain when I was 16 because my parents retired. So I was dragged over really to Spain. It wasn't very willingly, but I decided obviously that I had to go with my parents. So they decided to retire. And of course I was brought over. So then I got married, met my husband who's Spanish, got married, and we have two boys. And then, well, you know, when you're younger, you're quite busy doing things, growing up, etc., etc. And then one of my friends, because I like Reiki and I like to do other various things, he said to me that he thought it would be quite interesting for me to come to a Kundalini yoga class with him. So at first I resisted and said, no, it's too slow. I've always been somebody that likes things that are very fast. I like to go running, I like spinning. I said, no, I don't think yoga is for me. And he says, no, you'll like it, you'll like it. So off we went for our first class of Kundalini yoga, and I absolutely adored it. After the first class, I loved it that much that after the first month I decided that I was going to do the teacher training course. So by June I was already down for my teacher training. It's so different to other yogas. First of all, we all go in white, so we are wearing white t-shirts, jumpers, whatever, and white clothing. This automatically helps to already expand your aura, your electric magnetic field. Okay, so that's why we wear the white clothing. We use mantras at the beginning of the class to open. So you have the famous Om Namo Guru Dev Namo mantra, which we sing 3 times. And this is to help you connect in with the golden chain of teachers and connect in with your inner knowledge, you know, with yourself, obviously. So when you sing this mantra, these teachers are obviously on another existence, but their energy is in the class with you when you do the class. So this is also really nice. So we do this mantra to begin with, and then we start off with a few exercises. We do a few warm-up exercises just to get the body warmed up and just to bring yourself into that energy space as well. A lot of what we done, the breathing is very important. So already once we've sung the mantra, we're starting to move, where our body is starting to connect in with the breathing and use the lungs, but with the full capacity, not just slightly breathing. You'll notice when you come into a Kundalini yoga class that they're all breathing very strong. It's like a and it's made very powerful. This already is just awakening your Kundalini energy. That Kundalini energy that sits at the base of the spine, you know, it's just sitting there dormant. And if you don't do anything about it, it'll just sit there. And if you do decide to awaken that energy and do your Kundalini yoga, then you have this amazing wake up. You will start to realize who you really are, not who your parents told you you were, or your teachers told you were, or your own fantasy world of who your friends told you you were, you actually realize there's a wake up. There's a wake up call. You can't walk away from it. You start to wake up and find out how and who you really are, and there's no going back after that. So yeah, so then we go into Kriya. There's thousands of Kriyas. So you can decide which Kriya. Obviously, the teacher decides which Kriya you're going to work on that day. So there's Kriyas to work with your back. There's Kriyas to work with chakras. There's Kriyas to work with certain chakras. Maybe one day you'll only even just work with the third eye chakra. Or
can you explain briefly what is for the people who don't know exactly what the chakra means? Can you explain briefly the concept?
Okay, the chakras are energy vortexes that we have in our energy wheels, better said, that are in our body. They're not physically there, and all the time they are spinning. So there's like 7 of them, starting from the base up to the crown chakra at the top of the head, where they're very often associated with colours. You know, the first chakra being associated with the colour red, the second one being orange. The third one being yellow. The fourth is the heart chakra, green or pink. Some people like to visualize it as green, some as pink. And then you have the throat chakra, which is blue. Coming up to the third eye, which is an indigo color, and then the top of the head, the 7th chakra, which is white, which connects you with the universe, the divine. Mm-hmm. So we're working with this. You're always working with them. In the Kundalini Yoga, you will always be working with the chakras anyway, but some of the classes can be focused on one certain chakra. But also there's obviously for the back, so very good Kriya to work with the back. All different sort of movements that we use, because I don't think I've mentioned that the Kundalini Yoga, it's not static poses. Okay, so we take postures, and this postures in movement is actually quite active, but you can go at your own pace. So there's no need to go as fast as everybody else. You just find the right pace for you with the breath. So the movements we use with the breath. Okay, so if you turn to the left, you inhale, and when you turn to the right, you exhale. So the breath is very important with the movements in Kundalini Yoga. Also, we do most of the exercises with the eyes closed. So you can go within and be connected within. It stops you being distracted from looking to see what the other person at the other side of the mat's doing, or the one in front of you. So it really allows you to go within. And what I love about Kundalini Yoga, it's not just a physical practice. It's a practice for your mind, body, and spirit. You know, you work the whole lot of your body, because we're not just physical bodies. So yeah, it's really good. I totally recommend it. Of course I would, because I'm the teacher, but I recommend it anyway. So then the Kriya is actually preparing your mind, your body, and everything to then go into the meditation. So by the time you get to the meditation, you're in a different state of awareness, no? And in Kundalini Yoga, we use mantras, we use breathing for the meditation. So the mantras, what they allow us to do is to go into the subconscious mind. They actually help you to focus and be in the present moment, because I don't know if many people have found out that when they sit to meditate, obviously the mind will sometimes wander off. The mind is sometimes like a 2-year-old child that just wanders off, so you really have to discipline it. And if it's difficult for you to meditate, the mantra can really help you remain focused during the meditation. So we sing these mantras. Also, while you're singing the mantras, it's very interesting, because you obviously, to sing, your tongue's moving, and it is moving round the mouth, and we have meridians in the mouth, behind the teeth. So you're actually activating and stimulating these meridians as well while you're singing these mantras. So there's a lot going on here as well when you're using the mantras. Apart from that, the mantras are really beautiful to allow you to connect within and have that beautiful experience while you're practicing the Kundalini Yoga.
So it's a combination of all of these techniques, right? The yoga, the mantras, Reiki.
Yeah.
Can you
Reiki,
explain
no,
what
Reiki doesn't come into it.
Reiki is a different?
No,
Okay.
no, 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 no. Reiki doesn't come into it. This was, I forgot to say actually at the beginning that this was brought over, taken out of the India by Yogi Bhajan, a Sikh, in 1969, because this man had very good vision of the times ahead, and he knew that we were coming into the Aquarian time, and we would need these tools in our toolbox. You could see there was going to be great levels of stress, depression. People would be lost, confused. Exactly what we're actually living just now. So he said that he would bring it out of India, and that really upset his teachers because it had always been a sacred teachings. You were only allowed to teach it to special people. It wasn't taught to everybody. It wasn't open just to the general public. So when Yogi Bhajan brought it over here, they actually said that his own Kundalini energy would arise and strangle him, which it didn't happen, obviously. So thanks to Yogi Bhajan, we actually have the teachings of Kundalini Yoga today now all over the world. He prepared teachers. He first started teaching the hippies, the Woodstock hippies. He found these group of people that all wanted peace and love, and he said these people have got the right thing, the right frame of mind. We just have to remove the other stuff, the drugs, the weed, all the rest of it. And he said to them, look, I'm going to show you guys how you can do this without to get and reach those states of consciousness without the drugs. So a lot of these teachers are now teaching all over the world as well. He prepared teachers because he didn't want followers. He wanted to create teachers. And my teacher is Sarabjit and Devta, so big thanks to them as well. And there were teachers spread all over the world, in Italy, France, Germany, so that Kundalini Yoga would be well known and everybody could use it.
Can you explain how your life has changed since you started practicing yoga and all these practices, activities?
Since I've been practicing yoga, well, my life has changed dramatically. I'm much more aware of who I am, where I want to go. People don't believe me when I tell them how I was, the person I was before, which is a very unconfident person. When they see me on the mat now, they think I'm very confident. But if they'd known me before, I was very, very unconfident, had lots of fears. I'm very scared of doing a lot of things, and it's really allowed me to come out of myself and be me, just be me. Apart from the actual benefits that you obviously get from the poses, from the postures, from the movements, from the practice, the meditations. If there's days when you're feeling slightly under the weather, you're not feeling quite right, well, you can go for that meditation and use it. We also have, if we want to practice something, because there's patrons, we have habits that are made up. We can't live without habits as human beings, as we are. And some habits are good and they're positive, and some of them are not so good and positive. So you can decide to do a 40-day sadhana. This is what we call it, sadhana, where you commit to doing 40 days of your kriya. So every day you get up and you do this kriya continuously for 40 days if you want to change this habit. So depending on what you want to work with, if you're somebody with depressions or high levels of stress, you would decide or ask your teacher which kriya would be more suitable for you, or which meditation to work with. And that's very useful as well.
And you are going to take part in a yoga festival in January?
Yes.
What is going to be your role in this festival?
Well, I'm going to be obviously teaching Kundalini Yoga, and also I'll be teaching Yin Yoga as well, which is fairly new compared to the other different yogas. But It's a really beautiful practice as well. Nothing compared to the Kundalini yoga. Much slower on the mat, static poses, and we also use props to help us to go into the pose. So blocks, cushions, blankets, anything you need, you can use as much as you want to go into the pose. And we're actually holding the poses between 3 and 5 minutes because our focus is to actually work with the connective tissues. So it's we're going to work with connective tissues, which are very yin. So they're very rigid. They need more time to open up. You know, they're very dense, the connective tissue. And maybe over time, if you've had injuries or just through lack of movement, they dry out. So when you go into the pose, you're actually lubricating your joints and your bones. There's like three sort of rules that I give to my students is, first of all, taking them into the pose. We find the pose suitable for everybody. And then we try to release and relax all the muscles. So everything is released as much as possible. Obviously, if you're working with a pose with your leg extended or something, there might be a little bit of muscular contraction in that area, but that's fine. But we try to be as relaxed as possible so that we can really go down deep into that connective tissue, which is your tendons, your ligaments, fascia, bones, joints. And it's a very nice practice. We're there between 3 and 5 minutes, and then we move on to another pose as well. And there's a pose for everybody, which is what I really like about yin. We also have another focus with the yin that we're not so focused on the actual alignment. It is important. It's not that it isn't, but sometimes just we take into account the bone structure and how we're all made up different. We've all got different bodies. So maybe just bringing somebody going into child's pose with their arms straight ahead of them, it's very sore in the shoulders, and just saying, separate your arms ever so slightly and notice the difference. And it's really just trying to get each person to feel the pose in their own body. So yeah, totally different practice. You can bring the meditation into it as well. There is obviously a mindfulness approach to it, that while you're in the pose, you try to quieten down. You know, you're trying to step back from your daily life, from everything that you have to do. You know, our lives are very young as it is. There's always so much to do, too much to do, and a lot of demands to keep doing more. And when we do stop, sometimes we can even feel guilty with ourselves. And in our yin class, it is all about stopping, stepping back and giving yourself permission to be there in that moment, in that present moment, seeing, feeling, breathing, and observing what is going on in your body.
That is to be focused on the present moment is a very good practice for the meditation. Is basically that is keep your mind quiet, right, and focus on the present moment. That's
yes,
right?
yeah. Sometimes, yeah, easier said than done sometimes. My teacher, who is Josh Summers, comes from a more Buddhist meditation background. So it's all about, I don't even guide my people on meditations, my students. I just allow them to sit. Sometimes we will do a 1 minute, well, not usually 1 minute, 3 minutes is good. 3 minutes sitting in silence, sitting in an easy pose, whatever's easy for them that day, and just allowing to notice what comes up for them. If at any time the mind becomes a little bit busy and maybe the mind wanders off, which it will do, it does happen, just bringing themselves back to anchor themselves to their hands. So if they feel that, I'll just say, right, bringing your attention back to your hands. If you feel you've wandered off, come back and bring your attention to your hands. And I just leave them in that space for 3 minutes. We're just sitting there in silence and observing, just noticing. Yeah.
Do you use also, are you going to use in this festival, it is Shiva Yoga Festival, by the way, it's 1st to 6th of January in Murcia, in Spain. And are you going to use Tibetan bowls also to complement with the rest of the activities?
Yes, I might just bring a few along with me. Why not? Yeah. I have quite a few. I do like to do, I've got a few, I work from a few studios in Spain, and I do like to bring the singing bowls more into the yin at the end. I do workshops. I will usually do a half-hour sound bath. When we do a 2-hour workshop, we will do 1.5 hours of a yin practice, and then we will usually do a half-hour sound bath, which I will then use my Tibetan singing bowls. I also have quartz singing bowls. Also have my drum and my ocean drum and lots of other stuff that I bring along with me, so that people can then immerse in the sound, which the sound is obviously very healing as well.
I have taken part in some meditations with bowls, and it's like you feel
Yes.
all the sound inside you, the energy. It's pretty good. And
yes.
So can you explain for the people who don't know what is Reiki, and what are the benefits, and what is the connection also with the chakras, Reiki with chakras?
Okay, so the Reiki, when you're doing the Reiki, you're just allowing that universal energy to flow through you. You're just a channel, trying not to sit there and say, I want to heal the person, I want to heal the person. No, just allowing yourself just to be the channel, just to be like a tube for that energy just to flow down. And also it's the imposition of putting your hands on the body, starting from the head and making your way down, which also helps to bring more alignment into the chakras. So as we know, we do get blocked, be it by our emotions. Usually it is our emotions, and when these chakras become blocked, we can usually feel that something's not quite right, or we don't feel quite right, yeah, physically, emotionally. So the Reiki is very healing for both, not just the person that's actually receiving the Reiki. We both receive Reiki in a Reiki session. So yeah, you would go around the body holding roughly 3 minutes in each part of the body, different parts of the body. Usually your hands are guided. Your hands are guided they know where to go, and the energy knows where to go as well. So it's really just about allowing yourself to be in that energy space and just allowing the energy to flow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can feel with your hands where different types of energy when you move around the body of the person, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so well, there has been a kind of introduction to many things related with the energy, with the yoga, meditation, etc., etc. So it has been a pleasure to have you here, Rianna. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the interview.
And well,
I'll see you in January.
yeah, see you soon.